It's said that an adult, on average, can come up with about 10 to 15 uses for a paperclip. The average child posed with the same paperclip challenge can come up with about 200 uses. Let's be realistic, says the adult. The child responds, what does realistic mean? The Quran implores some parents and cultures that killed their children in fear of poverty. Those adults couldn't imagine where the sustenance would come from, so they killed their children, along with their dreams. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ. And do not kill your children for fear of poverty. There's an infinite source of sustenance, an infinite source of blessing, an infinite source of prosperity that's always been there. It was here before us, it's here right now, and it will always be. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. That we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will provide for them, for the children, and we will provide for you too. In the womb, you had one source of sustenance, that umbilical cord. And in that darkness, where no one could reach you, Allah still provided for you. A painful moment, the first day of your life, and that one source of sustenance was abruptly cut off. Allah will provide. It's a promise. And then the milk began to flow. But we forget. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. By the passage of time, surely man is at loss. Each day passes and it feels like nothing's changed, but when you look back, everything's changed. You're not that child anymore who can come up with 200 uses for a paperclip. Today you can think of maybe 10, and if you push it, maybe 15. Somewhere along this passage of time, a disappointment here or there, and somebody spoke to you the fatal words, be realistic. And you believe them. So some of us stay in a job that chokes us. This is the best you can do, be realistic. And at night, so many men and women sleep alone without a husband or wife to cuddle and love. Marriage? It's been so long. Be realistic. Each day glancing over at that big dream house, you know, the one you'll never be able to afford? Be realistic. Who would have known that the biggest murderer of children's dreams would be realistic? But when tragedy strikes, realistic turns on his heels and runs away. The boat departs from the shore, the plane departs from the airport, a monster wave hits the boat, the airplane falls from the sky, everyone screams, everyone calls for Allah alone. أَمَّن يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. Who else except Allah answers the dua of the one truly in need? On that plane, in that moment, there's no space left in my heart to be realistic. There's only space for dua, and it consumes me. When the plane survived, I had to make sense of the fear. I opened up my journal to write, but before I started, my eyes fell on an old post. The last time I wrote, it seems, it was to make sense of pain. I turned another page back, and it was also to make sense of some pain that had happened to me. I asked myself, why am I only learning in this way? Why am I only turning back to Allah when pain knocks? I opened a new page and wrote at the top, "Oh Allah, I am sorry for only waking up to pain. I don't want to learn this way. I want to love you, not with pain only, but with shukr, with thankfulness." وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. And remember when your Lord proclaimed that if you are thankful, then surely I will increase you. So even though I'm at peace, I'm going to cry for Allah's love as if I was drowning. Even though I suffer no oppression, I will pray with the oppressed as if I was standing with my children at the closed border. Even though there are no symptoms, I will raise my hands in the middle of the night, every night, as if the medical test results were tomorrow. Welcome to the school of thankfulness. Welcome to the school of visionaire. Why are you doing this? Said Aisha radiallahu anha. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded, أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Shouldn't I be a thankful servant? And so I climb this mountain not worried about Allah answering my du'as. That's already promised. And the promise of Allah is the truth, just like that flowing milk. Nope. I climb this mountain for me, to remind myself of what Allah is capable of, to travel in the land, to awaken my heart, to remember once again that there are 200 uses for a paperclip, just like every child knows. At this height of wonder and awe, I prepare the best of the best dream du'as. And can I tell you a secret? It's not about the dream du'as. When we stand in front of the King subhanahu wa ta'ala, who dares amongst us ask him only for a penny? I call it visionaire. Won't you join me?